All right, so I'm super excited. In the chat, just let me know. I like to do this too. Let me know how you feel about your content strategy. Do you feel like you have one? It's unorganized. You're just kind of inconsistent, or you have a content strategy, you've been posting, but it's not really doing anything, it's not converting. So just kind of let me know in the chat where you are. You can use the emoji, or you can use the words if you like. I just like to know what to kind of talk a little longer on. So let me know that. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to briefly introduce myself while you guys are putting that in the chat. For those who may not know me, my name is Adrienne Dion. I am a business coach. I host a podcast. Shout out to the Gold Mine podcast. I'm a public speaker, and I help small business owners start, run, and scale their businesses. So starting just with helping you organize and structure your ideas so we actually can create a business that reaches your business goals. As far as running the business, it's a lot of moving parts to a business. And for a lot of us who are service-based business owners, we're good at what we do. But when it comes to running the business and all the business stuff, sometimes we need help with that type of stuff. So I come in and help you with your systems, help you with managing your life and business, kind of integrating that efficiently. And then with scaling, some people, business is good and it's actually taking over their life. And so they need some help with scaling and kind of dealing with the growth and making sure that they're prepared long-term to be, sustainable long-term. So I help with those. So if you are looking for help in any of those areas, let me know. Let me check the chat. Erica says inconsistent, not converting. Okay, cool. Erica, let me know what kind of business you have. Yeah, so I'm really excited about tonight. So here's what you can expect. So by the end of the masterclass, some of the things that we're going to go over is what makes up an effective content marketing strategy. I think this is one of the biggest things that we as small business owners really need to shift our mindset or perspective around. So we're going to be going through that. I'm going to be showing you how to develop a content marketing strategy for your business. And then we'll talk about the process of producing content, because that can be a whole different thing when it comes to implementing all of the things that you know to do, kind of putting that into your already busy schedule. I'm going to be helping you create that process. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite tips and some of the things that I've been doing lately that has been really helping me get the results that I've been wanting to get. So before we go on, I'm not a marketing expert. I'm not an expert in that at all. But one of the things that I really focused on at the beginning of this year is really using this tool for what I think is can be used for in anybody's businesses. And I kind of honed in on it. And because of that, I've learned a lot of things that I just want to share with you guys, because I'm sharing it with my clients and it's helping them. So that's pretty much what you can expect from that. So I think that at the beginning of this, to just go all in and just kind of talk about this big elephant, maybe not elephant in the room, but I think a lot of people don't realize this. Posting on social media does not equal a marketing strategy. And I think too many people are trying to look at the marketing strategy at social media and they're posting as their marketing strategy. And when this happens, a lot of things take place. And we're going to talk about that a little later, but a marketing strategy includes so much. It's basically your business's overall goal for achieving those sales goals and your overall goal in business, which is to make profit. And so it includes so much as like for example, understanding who your customers are and creating that competitive advantage, doing analysis on your competitors, and deciding what channels that you're going to use in order to reach those sales goals, and really market those products and all of the services that you have. And so when we talk about content is just one of the channels that you can use in order to reach those prospects or those potential customers. So I think it's very important that we start there, so we don't go into things thinking that if I'm posting on social media, this is me marketing for my business, and I should be able to reach all of my financial goals by just posting on social media. Has anybody ever thought like that as far as the content? Let me know in the comments. And I'm going to be very, very vulnerable. When I first started out, that's what I thought I had to do. Like, if I'm just posting on my YouTube, that's how I'm going to get customers. And there's so many other channels: email marketing, text marketing, just so many other channels. And so if you don't have a specific marketing strategy for your business, then you're probably not using a lot of the channels that you could in order to bring in customers. And if you're just depending on content to do that for you, it is going to limit you so much. Johnny said, yes, I've been there. Kind of feel like it's still like that. I think it is for a lot of people. And I'll tell you why. Because of the incentives that a lot of the platforms are giving you in order to like create content, it just creates this thing of like, there are so many opportunities here, let me just focus on that. When sometimes we can kind of get, our head in that, and it's not going to be enough to sustain. Plus, you don't own those platforms. And so even we're thinking like free stuff and free marketing, there's always going to be a cap to that, right? And we don't want to be capped. That's why we're entrepreneurs, right? So you can't just rely on content and those social media platforms to get you to where you want to go. So I hope that makes sense. And so since we know that, okay, it's not my marketing strategy, what is the purpose of content? And so I wrote a list here, and I want to kind of talk about it, because once you start really looking at content and using them for these purposes, I truly believe you're going to see a total change in your content strategy and the results that you're getting from your content. So one of the main purposes of your content is to create brand awareness, right? So you can use and reach so many new people all over the world by the content that you're producing. So the more people that know about your business, those that you can funnel those people into your business, rather than if you were just promoting by passing out flyers or just in your town. So please look at content as a way to get brand awareness and make people know about what you're doing, what you have to offer, and do it like that. The next one is community building. Community building is so important. And this is one of the things that I feel like is growing now, that people are understanding the weight of this and how well it can help your business. But community building is basically like networking. And I love networking. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten customers because, oh, my name came up, somebody was looking for a business coach, and I knew you were a business coach, so I referred them to you. Just by you making friends or making and building relationships in the community, in your industry, it will do so much for you. And so when you think about your social media platforms and the content that you're producing, make sure that you're implementing or you focus on community building, because I promise you it will bring you so many clients. The next one is nurturing. So depending on the platform that you have, such as like YouTube, you can really nurture people on a lot of these platforms. You can use your content to nurture. So for example, in another masterclass that I had, I talked about sales funnels. And if you think about the funnel, when it starts out, it's really big at the beginning, and it's just people at the beginning of that sales funnel is just people who are interested, right? But you want to funnel them down. And as you funnel them down, the thing that really converts people is your nurturing, how well you're able to nurture them, how well you're able to give them valuable information, how well you're able to position yourself as an expert. And when you do that, you make them more likely to invest in your business. Because if you think about the internet, right? You're thinking about the internet, it's everybody on there selling, right? So what makes someone else, why should someone else choose you rather than another person that's selling or servicing the same thing? It's going to be on relationship. It's going to be on that trust factor. And it's really going to be on how well you're able to give them value before they ever invest in you. And so your nurturing is going to be a very important aspect. And I'm going to talk about some ways you can do that with your content in a little bit. But these are really big purposes of content and big ways you can use your content. The other one is lead generation. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with lead generation, but this is something we should be doing all of the time. And so even with the followers and people following you, that's a good way for you to hold them in a space where now your content is continually being on their feed, and now you can nurture them with it. So lead generation is another great purpose for content. It's another positioning yourself as an expert. You can use it. And then sharing information. So sharing your offers, sharing what you have going on, sharing your events. A lot of you guys are here now because I share the information for this masterclass on my social media platform, and you were interested and you came here. So when you start to focus on these things for your content and not just what can I produce to get someone to buy, the sales are going to come. I promise you. And I just wanted to include this little example for what's been happening within the past. Just last week, I think I had 5 people that came from Instagram. These are just some examples of me taking my focus off of, okay, let me see how I can sell, what I can, show them my offer, do all of this. And I actually started to focus on those aspects. And then the sales came. A lot of people are signing up. Where did you on my intake form, I'm asking where did they come from, which is a very important part because you want to make sure that you're investing more time in those spaces. But they're saying, Instagram. Someone said my live. I literally had people, I'll go live and then they'll DM me because they watched the live. And so we're going to talk about all of that, but I just want to show you some examples of when you're focusing on that, the sales are going to come. Does anybody have any questions before we move on from that, just about the purpose of content and looking at it in a way of using it in your business this way rather than just trying to get sales from it? If you're good to go, put a 1 in the chat. Hey to everybody that's joining. All right, I'm gonna let a couple more people in. Okay, cool. So let's talk about what are the ingredients for an effective content marketing strategy. Remember, I said content is a channel for you to reach those customers. And so here are a few that I want to talk about. Number 1, knowing your target audience is super important for choosing the type of content to post. And in a second, I'm going to talk about how to choose your content pillars, but it's super important that you know who your target audience is so that you can reach those people and produce content that actually resonates with them. Making sure that your content is in the right places. I know that there are so many different platforms, but I promise you guys, you do not need to be in all of them, right? So I put this slide in here. Where is your target audience? So a lot of times I had a client, she primarily promotes and like advertises and does her content on Instagram, but she actually does resumes, right? So where do you think she should be other than in addition to Instagram, where else do you think she should be? Let me know in the comments. LinkedIn, exactly. So a lot of people are not thinking of it that way, but LinkedIn is a great place, and you can post and repurpose some of the same stuff that you're doing on Instagram onto LinkedIn. So it's really important for you to think about where is your target audience, and don't try to be every place, every platform just because it's available. You want to be very, very strategic in choosing your platform. How many platforms are you guys on? Just tell me, how many accounts do you have? Not that you're consistent, but tell me where you are. Just put like 3 or 4 of like out of all of these. I don't think Clubhouse is on here. 6. Okay, girl. 6. Have you been consistent, Erica? I think that was one of your things. You were inconsistent. 3, definitely not. Okay, yeah. And so I don't want you guys to feel pressured to be in all of these spaces just because you have availability. The one on the bottom right is, I think, like podcasting. So just if you have a podcast. So I'll tell you now, like, I'm on Twitter, never post anything. I'm in Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn, never post. I would never do business on Snapchat, but it works for some people. Instagram, and I have a podcast. That is a lot of content. And yes, you can repurpose in a lot of these places, but I say you only want to choose 2 to 3 places where you can really be consistent and you can really see results from those 2 to 3 places. Having a goal for each piece of your content is very important. And it sounds like, whoa, that's a lot. But just think about when you are creating content. I like to use this example. When you are creating content for your business goals versus just for likes, right? So if you're promoting a sale or you're doing like lead generation, you want to make sure that type of content that you're choosing, the package, how you're packaging, that is best suited for that goal. So you want to make sure that your messaging resonates and it's attracting the attention of your target audience. And I really want to be very, very clear when I say your target audience, because you don't want to just be trying to resonate with a lot of people or all of your followers. And I think this is a place where we kind of get discouraged, because we will post something, right? And it's for a specific group of people and it may not do well. Maybe you say, oh, we only got 300 views. It didn't get that many likes or whatever. But what I will tell you, one of the things that I like to do is go in and look at the people that are liking, look at the people that are commenting, and see how many of those people are really your target audience. That is going to really tell you a lot about the type of content that you're producing and if it's actually resonating with the people that you want it to, right? So a lot of times when we're using Reels, it does get more reach, but it's going to people that you're not even trying to attract anyway. So don't be discouraged by the likes or if the comments or those types of things are down. You want to look at who's actually looking and liking those pictures, and it will tell you a lot about how well your content is actually resonating with your target audience. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. And then as opposed to if you're just doing it for likes, or if you're doing it just for brand awareness, then you may want to focus on those reels where you're doing like lifestyle stuff and you're actually building influence. And I'm going to get into the content pillars in a second, or I'll go deeper into that. But basically what I'm saying is each piece of content, you should have a goal for that. You should know the purpose of it. What is it? What am I trying to do with this piece of content? And if you really wanted to go back for a reference, I would really say, take a picture of this. These are some of the goals that you can have for your content. This is really good. So is this piece of content for brand awareness? Is it community building? Is it nurturing? Is it lead generation? You should know the goal for each piece of your content. Johnny says, I use different platforms for different businesses. That's very smart. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is playing the long game. So I know we don't like to think about playing the long game, but we have to be invested. And I really want you to start thinking, these are free platforms, right? Earn your target audience's attention. That should be the goal, right? Because growth happens as a result of compound attention earned. And so if a lot of times we may post for 3 days in a row and it doesn't get us the results that we want. And we're ready to like, okay, I'm done with this. I don't even care about this anymore. Nobody's paying attention. But you really have to be consistent and play the long game so that you can earn your target audience attention. I have been on calls with people who told me they have been following me since 2015. Oh, I remember when you first got started. And they see me change my business so many times. And I'm almost embarrassed when they see me. But obviously, people like to see your growth. People like to see that you are committed to it. And it makes them want to invest and be committed with you. And so play the long game. Let them see those struggle videos. Let them see those struggle reels and how much better you get within 3 to 6 months. It really does make people pay attention to you. I had a client that posted a video that she did in 2020, which was her first video. It was crazy how the quality looked like it was 1947. But it was really cool to look back 2 years ago and see how far she's come. And that really, really, really positioned her as an expert. Like, okay, I can trust her. She's not going anywhere. So don't be afraid to play the long game. And then the other thing is trying new things. So don't be afraid to try new things. I think for me, that was something that was hard for me, especially when I got really good result on a piece of content. Like one of my posts got like 19,000 views, right? So I'm like, oh, y'all, I'm famous now, right? So y'all, I will kid you not, I did not even want to post the next day because I was like, can I do it again? Will I ever be able to do it again? And it really put this pressure on me. But try new things, experiment with new types of content. That's the only way you'll be able to see what really resonates with your actual target audience. And then I'm going to say this is kind of controversial, but you also have to limit your data entry. Right? What I mean by that is there's a lot of information out there. There are a lot of people telling you to do a million things, post 50 hashtags, only post 3, post 5 times a day, only post 1 time a day. Like there's so much information. At some point, you have to limit the data that's coming in, pick something and stick with it long enough so that you can actually see and assess and analyze the results from it. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about that? We're going to kind of take everything and put it together now with the process of actually producing the content and creating like your strategy. How am I doing on time? I'm good. Okay. Are y'all good to go? Put a 1 in the chat. Any questions? Okay. All right. So let's talk about the process of producing producing content. And number 1 is to set a goal. Again, one of the things that I like to do at the beginning of the month is set my goal for my social media strategy and everything that I'm going to be doing for that month. Is it that I want more followers? Do I want to create more, leads? What is my goal for the month? So if you think about September, I want you guys to tell me a goal that you want to set for your specific social media platforms next month. So one of mine was I wanted to grow by 100 followers across all boards. And I wanted to try out 30 minutes of engagement every single day to see how well that did with like community building and bringing in more followers. So let me know in the chat what's something, what is one of an example of a goal that you want to set for yourself. And if you guys are watching this on a replay, definitely make sure you comment as you go along too, because I'm very interested to see the goals and see how I can also help. After you create that goal, you want to sit down and think of how you will achieve it. So like I said, yes, you can have 2 or 3 goals. So one of the things that I said I wanted to grow by 100 followers across all of my boards. The plan to achieve that was 30 minutes a day, every day, just engaging right after I post to see how well that does. Perfect. I like that goal. And if you're having a hard time with setting a goal, let me know that in the chat too. Consistent group engagement. Yes. Okay, so Karen says, so basically you need to focus on lead generation. I love to use, okay, so let me read it out. She said, I need to acquire 5 owner operators for the month of September. So you need to focus on lead generation and qualified lead generation. So that could be one of the things that you focus on is I would 5 times that. So at least 25 new leads. And from that, hopefully 5 of them will convert. So lead generation should be a huge goal for you. And you need to think about what am I going to do to create those, to bring in those leads. Grow my Facebook group by 100, book sales by 10, 10 sale calls per week. Okay, so a lot of it is lead generation. I have a time setting a goal. Okay, Facebook, I need, okay. So a lot of it is going to be lead generation. I do not know why this does this. It starts putting marks on here. Okay, maybe it went away. Okay, so with lead generation, let me just go talk about content pillars. Okay, so the next thing is to choose your content pillars. So let's get into content pillars. Content pillars are the types of content that your target audience resonates with the most. I think a lot of times when people think about content pillars, they think about like topics that their business talks about or whatever. I've realized that my content pillars are about what resonates most with my audience. So as a business coach, education is going to be one of my biggest content pillars. So the more value that I can give by educating or talking about the pain points that people have, the more that type of content resonates most with the people that I'm targeting. It may be, if you're a product-based business, it may be sharing the behind the scenes of what you're doing and using kind of like FOMO as an incentive, right? So by other people seeing you packaging and sending out stuff, they don't want to be left out. So then they want to purchase something from you. So showing a lot of your day-to-day things and behind the scenes, that might be something. For somebody else in a business, it could be motivation and inspiration. But one of the ways to go in and see what type of content pillars resonate most with your audience is to go back and do an audit on your account. Look at what content did the best. Look at the type of content that was, and figure out what category that falls into. So I'm not talking about like posts where you graduated and now you have 10,000 likes because you achieved something, but like going in and seeing what type of content did you get the most engagement on and the most likes on the most comments, and then try to choose 2 to 3 of those that you just continue to reproduce over and over again. And you can do it in many ways. But does that make sense for you guys in understanding how to choose your content pillar? Let me know in the comments so that I can clear it up, because this is a really, really, really big thing. Sometimes entertainment is really good for like reach. So if like, let's just choose the owner operator business, right? Karen's trying to get 5 owner operators. Maybe she does a post, like an entertainment post about something that's funny, like that sound where, oh no, I can't do that, I'm not doing that. And you relate it like industry specific. That's gonna bring in a lot of people that can relate to that specific thing, you know, like when you ask a truck driver to, I don't know, but something in that sort that only those types of people can relate to, they're going to be liking that post because they can relate to it. Then all you have to do is go in, click on the likes, see if any of those people are your target audience, and you can go in, like a couple of their posts, and bring attention back to your profile. So now they see that, oh, she has something to offer, you know, for me, or whatever the case may be. So that's one example that you could use of how you can use that content pillar specifically for that business to create lead generation. Does that make sense? Let me know. If y'all want me to do another example, let me know in the comments. I want to make sure it's super, super clear for you. Nelly says she understands. Benefits of working. Perfect. All right. So once you choose your content pillars, something that's really helped me is weekly themes. So weekly themes are really, really important because I was always struggling to come up with content ideas because I felt like my business covered so much stuff, right? Business coach, I can talk about so much stuff. But if I chose a weekly theme, I could just create content around that one topic in so many different ways. There's so many things we can talk about when it comes to content. By the way, that's the theme for this week. So if you go into my page, you're going to see everything about content because I've created a lot of different content content around talking about content. So you can talk about content pillars. You can talk about 5 different content ideas. You can talk about the best social media tips for converting content. So a lot of it, I was able to be more creative when I just started coming up with things. So for, let's just say, book sales, Erica, I don't know what you do, but I was trying to use somebody else. Owner operator, maybe you're talking about how to get started, you know, systems and workflow strategies. There's so much that you can talk about. You can actually talk about pain points one week. You can talk about how to know if your systems and workflow need help, you know. Weekly theme, creating cash flow. Several different things that you could talk about around creating cash flow. So it really just helps you to open up and get creative about that one topic and bring a lot of value around that. So after you have your weekly theme, I like to split up my tasks based on my brainstorming, and I like to batch. Batching is very, very important because what I found is that there are so many moving parts to creating content. So if we just think about it, right? You have to come up with the ideas, you have to plan everything out, you have to find your reels, find your sounds, you have to record the reels, you have to edit them, you have to write your captions, you have to find hashtags and keywords. You have to create the graphics for different things. So it's like 10 different things just around content. And so a lot of times when we go and say, oh, I'm going to create my content for the week, you end up spending a whole day trying to do all of those things. And what I found that it's better to do is for me to batch a lot of those things or similar tasks on certain days, so it doesn't take up my whole day and I'm able to get it all done. Does that make sense? So one of the things I suggest is having, like, I have a day where I plan everything, but I don't actually do it. So I plan out everything. Another day where I put on makeup, I take my pictures, I record, I do all of that type of stuff, but I won't edit. Then there's another day that I will actually edit everything and do all of my captions and schedule, and then I'm done. So split up the process that you have to take for each of them and then batch certain things together. And then the last thing that has really, really helped me is using a content planner. And so I really am excited to share with you guys my content planner that I'm launching. It's super, super cool. And it helps you to really just plan out everything and strategize everything, all of the best strategies in a way that helps you to keep everything in one place so that you are consistent. And so this is a pretty picture of it. But inside of it is super cool. It has like a monthly calendar, and it's sectioned off for all of the different things that we kind of just went over and talked about. And it also has like a place where you can compare your analytics. This is just a cute picture mock-up of it, but you can actually pre-order it. I'll give you guys a link for it, but it's specifically for small business owner, and it literally has all of the things. So you can actually go in and choose your different content, the content days and all of that. I literally designed it based on the process that I take. And I actually went over it in another masterclass, and I had a couple people use it and they loved it. So if you want me to go through the different slides so that you can see what's inside the planner and everything, let me know in the chat. I want to be respectful of your guys' time. And we have like 15 minutes before the hour. So I wanted to go over some tips too, but I will put the link in the chat for you guys to go in and look at. It's definitely a cool planner. But let me go over tips and then we can actually go through the planner. So some of the tips that I have that I wanted to go over is how to use certain content types. So as far as like reels, using reels, the goal is to like increase your engagement, increase your reach. And some of the ideas that you can do for them is like short-term trends. So I would really say like all the trendy stuff using the reels, but really use reels also to share your perspective on things. We cannot hide behind our content. We really have to go, and as you show yourself and share your perspective, it really helps to position yourself as the expert. And so remember, the fastest way to increase your know, like, trust factor is lives, is sharing your perspective, is getting out in front and talking. Those are the fastest ways to increase that trust factor, and people will really think you know what you're talking about, even if you don't. Like, that's how so many people get scammed. But you can use those types of things to really show your expertise. So using those reels for educational topics, of course, the algorithm is going to boost that. So use those reels in order to share educational, kind of behind the scenes type stuff. And really, your goal there should be reach. So anything you want to kind of use for more reach, use reels for. With your photos, one of the things that I like to say, a lot of people are like, well, Instagram doesn't really promote carousels or pictures anymore. But I like to say, think of it as like the pictures on your wall. Once you go and you look and you engage, people are going to come back to your page. And so what is the type of stuff that you want on your page that's to always be there, that is high value, that they can look and say, oh, this person really has a lot to offer. They share a lot of great, value. And 9 times out of 10, when they come back and they see that your page is full of value, then they're going to follow you. So even if your posts, your pictures, your carousels don't get a lot of engagement, you still want it on your page so that when you are using those reels and things that actually get a lot of reach, you'll be able to come back, and they'll be able to come back and look and kind of stalk you or look at your page and see all of the value that you have to give. So some of the content ideas that you can use with your like pictures and carousels is like how-tos, your tutorials, tell a story with your caption, any type of thing like that. Use that for your carousel posts and pictures that you share. So even sometimes I'll post a picture of me, but in the caption, I'm telling a story, because I know people like to look at pictures and they're most likely going to read those captions. The other way to use lives, again, to build that trust and build community, but you also can collaborate with other people, and you're broadening your reach when you're doing that too. So think about people that you can actually go live with, and you're introducing yourself to a whole new community, and you can show your expertise there. So for example, if you have a truck driving business, you can collaborate, maybe not with other people who have the same business with you, but something that complements the industry that you're in. So you can community build with those people, go live together. You may go live with like a CPA and talk about taxes, or whatever the case may be, but something that's complementary to your industry. Those are the types of people that you want to be able to bring value to your community and also open yourself up to a whole new community. So for content ideas with live, you can do Q&As, you can do guest interviews, you can do panel discussions, anything with like any of your launches, you can get on and talk about those things. Use that for your IG live. And then your stories, you want to make sure that the whole point of using your stories for content and for your business is basically staying top of mind. There are certain people that anytime I get on social media, or now TikTok has stories, YouTube has shorts, every time I get on, they have their little circle is lit up. And so if you're also doing that, you're staying top of mind. You're staying like, oh, I wonder what such and such is doing. I get on Facebook sometimes and I see Johnny on there, and I'm like, oh, let me see what she has going on. She's sharing pictures of her family or whatever. That I feel like I have a relationship with her, and we have never even met. So, but because she's top of mind, because she's active on the platform by, having things on in her stories, I feel like I have a little bit of insight into her life. I'm seeing her on a consistent basis. So that's the same thing you want to do for your followers. So some content ideas that you can use for your stories are like daily tips. You can do polls, you can do quizzes, you can definitely use those stickers a lot. You can promo things in your story, but you also can just share value, like things that's funny or things that other people may in your industry or your client audience may get value from. So use your stories for those. So those are some tips for how to use certain things like on Instagram and other platforms like that. Make sure that you're doing keyword research and call to actions. And one of the little hacks that I have for like keywords in your industry, if you get on Instagram and you go to your search page, they have certain words that are up there. That means those words that are up there mean that they are very high engagement. And so sometimes I'll use those in my hashtags. So like right now, mental clarity is on my Instagram. Content ideas is on my Instagram. And so I'm using lifestyle hacks is on my Instagram. So I'll just use those as actual hashtags when I'm posting. The same thing for Pinterest. So if you get onto the search page on Pinterest, they'll have certain like words or whatever in the little search. If you scroll down, people are looking for those things. That's why it's there. And so you can use those hashtags, or it gives you ideas of what to create content around. So you can use those as keywords, use them in your captions and things like that. Remember when we were talking about the goal for each piece of content? Make sure that since you know that goal, you're using those call to actions in your captions. So if my whole point is lead generation, then I'm gonna, in my call to action, lead them or tell them where I want them to go. If I have a freebie for them, I'm making sure that I'm mentioning that my whole caption is centered around that, or that's somewhere on the reel or something like that. So make sure your call to action goes with the goal that you have for that piece of content. Another thing that I do, I always post, anytime that I post, I'm gonna engage 30 minutes after I post. That has really helped me so much in getting more engagement and getting more views. It's almost like the algorithm puts your stuff in front of more people when you are engaging. Another thing that I do is use a scheduler. And I know a lot of people don't like to use schedulers, or they're getting away from it because they feel like, oh, it affects my reach, but it really doesn't. If you're still posting in your stories, if you're still engaging, spending some time engaging, then it knows that you're not a bot. Another thing is going live. It doesn't recognize you as a bot because a bot couldn't do those things. Johnny says, I like the sandwich method when posting. Yeah, so do you engage a little bit before and then post and a little bit afterwards? Yeah, that's another good way. And 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day is not that bad. By the time you comment on a couple people's things, it'll be gone in no time. The other thing is study your favorite content creators. One of the things that I learned just basically like watching Beyonce's marketing with his last launch, I noticed that number one, she knew that her content was going to be, or her album was going to be different. So one of the things that I saw that she did was pre-sales and pre-orders, right? Because now if she gets people to already buy into, a package, they didn't even know what it was, they're now invested. They have some type of investment. They want to like it because they've already spent money. So if you think about that, that was a great marketing strategy behind her launch, because most of the time, if she had just put that music out, most people that would have liked it would have just kind of been her fans. But now people that have already invested and bought into it, they were willing to listen to it a little bit more just because they had now already spent money behind it. So think about your favorite content creators. What are they doing that you really like? And then try that out in your business. Another tip is to focus less on the number of followers and more so on the number of clients. Because just because you have a lot of followers, a lot of likes, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be funneling people in. And so it's very important that you're thinking of that when you're creating those different types of content, that you're not super focused on the number of followers, but you're more concerned about how many leads it's pulling in and is it doing what you need it to do. I talked about sharing your perspective. I talked about showing your face. But the other thing that has really been big for me is really encouraging that one-on-one interaction. So a lot of times in my call to actions, I'll say, hey, DM me or comment right in the comment section. Also, like for my Facebook group, I send them a personal message. Every person that comes into my Facebook group, I'm sending them a personal message. So I'm encouraging that one-on-one interaction. When you do certain things like that, it builds trust, because now you don't feel so much like a stranger. That person has interacted with you. So if you can, think of ways that you can implement this into your business. Let them know that, hey, you can have a one-on-one interaction. That's a really interesting whatever, or however it is, but encourage those one-on-one interactions. I know a lot of times most people are trying to be as passive as possible. They don't want nobody talking to them. They don't want to have to do anything. But think about it. Most people are doing this. So if you do something different, you're going to stand out. And then I did a live today about repurposing content. Definitely go watch it. You can use one piece of content in so many different ways. And that is one of the things that I have in my content planner, that there's a section just based on like how you can repurpose those ideas that you plan for the week in other platforms. So you can turn certain things into an email or a TikTok video, or how can you, change this into a carousel post. This is super important because it saves you so much time, and you don't have to try to think of new content all of the time. You can just really repurpose what you already have in different ways. So, but if you don't plan for it, it's probably not going to happen. So do you guys have any questions? And then I'll just go in and kind of show you what's in the content planner and why I love it so much. But I want to make sure I answer your questions because we're at the hour mark. But it is available for pre-sales. I'm still watching the chat. So if you have questions, just drop it in there. It is available for pre-sale. It ships September 1st, which is, you'll get it right in time I'm going to be doing a 21-day posting challenge. And so you'll have it in time to plan out all of your content for that. Super, super dope. I showed you guys the look of it. Let me stop sharing and then share this. Anybody that pre-orders though, let me get to it. Anybody that pre-orders it will also get a instant digital download so that you can go and start using it right now. This is the limited version, so it's just for 1 week. But after you use this, you'll have your actual planner, so you don't even have to worry about it. But I wanted to give you access just in case you weren't able to, you wanted to go ahead and get on it. But I explained exactly how to use it. It has a lot of different sections, but this is kind of like a preview of it. It has a calendar and it's undated, so you can use it at any time. It has the analytics section. This is not the whole entire planner, but I'm just showing you parts of it. But it has a section for getting structured. So you can have your themes for the week, where we talked about choosing your content pillars. And I have some listed here, but based on your posting schedule, you'll be able to kind of just put the content pillars. So it gives you structure for the month. It has a section where you can put your reels, the number of carousels, the number of static posts that you want. You'll have a section to where you can go and flip and think of your ideas and sounds for your reels or your TikToks based on the theme that you have for that week. So it's really, really cool with everything for you to brainstorm. And then that section where I was talking about repurposing the content, you can plan that out. and then just organize everything so you know what schedule where. You have your task list, there's a batching schedule, there's note pages, there's even a monthly review, which is super, super important because there is no reason you should be putting your time and your effort into doing something that doesn't get results. But a lot of us don't know it because we don't have somewhere where we can actually see the progress or see what's working and what's not. And so I wanted to create something to where the prompts will help you to see, okay, what's working, what's not working, what do I need to change, where do I need to adjust so that I can reach my goals. So it's really, really cool. I put the link in there. And again, if you pre-order, you'll get access to that digital copy and you can actually edit right there. You can print it out if you want to, but it's really, really cool. And it is for 12 months. So when you purchase it, you'll have it for a whole year and it's undated. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, this is the 2023 version or whatever. I wanted to make sure that you had access to plan 365 days of the year. So I hope you guys grab it. It's really cool. Do you guys have any other questions? I made my hour mark. I want to answer questions, specific questions. If you have them, let me know. And if not, that is it. Oh, I forgot to say also, Johnny, you didn't let me forget this, but also with the planners, there is also an affiliate marketing opportunity too. So if you grab the planner, you like it, you want to, use it or share it with your audience, let me know if you're interested and I can get you all the information to sign on with that. The other option is also paperback. So it's actually available on Amazon right now. If you want to get it and you're like, I don't want to wait a week. I don't care about the binders or whatever. I want it paperback. You can grab it on Amazon. So it's there too. You can get it tomorrow. Where do I follow? Thank you for reminding me. I'm on IG at the Fundamentor. Also on Facebook. You can, that's not my email, but you can hit me there. I'll get back to you. But yeah, that is all of my information where I'm mainly at on Instagram. You guys have any other questions? Was this helpful? Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Johnny. I think I'm gonna do, the next masterclass I think I'm gonna do is we're getting ready to get into the holidays. So I want to really focus on getting ready for the holidays and making sure you have some products to sell for us service-based business owners. So I can definitely get you the information to that. I have a whole list of vendors and people that you can use for the spiral bounding. I'll get you that information. And if y'all are interested in that, let me know. I think that'll be really good for us also, for creating some products for the busiest time of the year. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for jumping on, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, my IG. Let me put my IG in here. Joyce, IG. Instagram. Here you go. There you go. You're welcome, Karen.